Hi, what's up, everybody? I've convened an esteemed panel of fine medalists to discuss The Ultimate Sin and Bark at the Moon by Ozzy Osbourne. And the reason I picked these two specific albums is one of the big topics of conversation at the Back to the Beginning concert was Jakey Lee. And not only from a fan perspective, but also from a musician perspective. A lot of those musicians were freaking out that they were playing with Jakey Lee. And I think it was a great thing, not only for the fans, but also for Jake and the Osbournes to sort of patch things up. And I think Jake is just a big part of it, and he's still loved by the fans to this day. He's appeared on exactly two Ozzy albums, and they're both real good. And today we're going to decide which one is the better album featuring Jakey Lee. Is it Bark at the Moon or is it The Ultimate Sin? And we're going to go around the horn here and get our favorites. And then we're going to put those albums to the test. And we're going to see at the end of this if you stay with your original pick. So I'll start with the guy down below me right now, my former co-host on That Metal Show. Of course, he has his show on Ozzy's Boneyard, Jim Florentine. What's happening?
What's going on? I'm picking Bark at the Moon.
I kind of knew that going in, so this is good. Give us just a couple sentences why it's Bark at the Moon. That's very obvious to you that it was Bark at the Moon.
Well, it was a tough follow-up for the first few Randy records, and for them to come back with a record like that, which doesn't top the two Blizzard or Die of a Madman, but comes pretty close. If those two were a 10, Bark at the Moon's a solid 8.
Okay, now we have to remember that Jim just said it's a solid 8. So then when we break it down, we will see if it remains an 8. Bark at the Moon came out November 14th, 1983 here in the U.S. Mark Striegel, also from Ozzy's Boneyard, and one of our great producers on That Metal Show as well, behind the scenes. Mark, welcome, and give us your pick.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Don. I'm going to go with The Ultimate Sin. And I will say that I do believe there's a number of songs like Waiting for Darkness and the title track on Bark at the Moon that are probably better than any of the songs on The Ultimate Sin. But just as a whole, as a 15 or 16-year-old when it came out, the way it hit me, it's between the two, it's the one I gravitate towards nowadays. But yeah, two great releases.
Okay, and Ultimate Sin came out in the U.S. in January of 1986, and we welcome. Don't let that news exterior fool you. Okay, there is a juggernaut of metal underneath that pink blazer. Our friend from Real America's Voice, newscaster Emily Finn. Hello and welcome.
Hey, Don, thank you so much for having me. You know how much I love talking about rock and roll with you. I'm going to have to go with Bark at the Moon as the best here for this debate. As someone who works in the news, it's always really interesting for me to see the reception that albums get. I mean, obviously incredible music. Bark at the Moon is a great song, but the reception from this was insane. There was a guy in Canada that allegedly killed a woman and her 2 kids after listening to this, and it sparked a huge debate about if the music was influencing him, was it satanic? And for someone who works in the news, it was just so interesting to look back at all of these news reports and think about how this album really had a tremendous impact on people in a cultural way. So I'm going to go with that one.
All right, so the homicide puts it over the edge for you in favor of Bark at the Moon. We're learning a lot about Emily today. I'm going to agree with my friend Mark Striegel there. To me, Ultimate Sin, definitely the better album. To me, if I didn't know the order of the first 4 albums, I would have guessed Ultimate Sin came out after Diary. It's got still that kind of gritty rawness to it that Diary had. And for me, Bark at the Moon, which I still love the record, it got a little too poppy and synthesizer for me, which is funny because, right, the synth sound really came out more mid to late 80s for a lot of bands. But yet, Ozzy was doing it in 83 on Bark at the Moon. So I would have flipped those albums if you could actually have chosen the order, but I just think overall it's the better album with the stronger songs. And with that in mind, we're going to go track by track, and we're going to see if you stick with your original predictions. And we will start now with Emily, and we'll go, okay, Bark at the Moon versus the title track from The Ultimate Sin. Out of those two songs, which one's the better song?
I'm still going to have to go with Bark at the Moon. That is my go-to. You know, like I said, doing a bunch of research. I wasn't alive during this time, so I got to go back for my admiration for metal and rock and roll. And Ozzy actually said that Ultimate Sin was the one album that he wished that he could redo. That was his least favorite. I like it all. I like all the music. It always gets you fired up. But Bark at the Moon, I'm going to go with that one being the better song.
All right, Mark, better title track.
Yeah, Bark at the Moon is, listen, I love the title track for The Ultimate Sin, that pounding drum that brings you in. It's just a great track. But I will say that as far as those two title tracks go, I think Bark at the Moon is slightly a better song.
Yeah, okay. Jim?
Yeah, Bark at the Moon's a better song. You know, I haven't listened to Ultimate Sin in a while, and you know, Jake even said, you know, I interviewed him backstage at the beginning show, and he said that he didn't listen to that record for like 25 years because Ozzy was always bad mouthing the record because he didn't like the production on it. They were trying to go more poppy. Ron Nevison produced it, who just did the Heart record around that time and stuff. So he's like, I didn't listen to it because Ozzy was always saying it sounded like crap. He goes, but then I put it on, and he goes, and I liked it. He goes, I didn't listen to it for so long, but I'm still going with Bark at the Moon as a song.
Yeah, I'll make that unanimous. You know, that riff is so iconic, and the howl, and you know, it ties in obviously with all the killer artwork, Ozzy, you know, as the werewolf. So, so we all agree on that one. Let's start with Jim. You're No Different versus Secret Loser. Which is the better song here? And be honest.
I like Secret Loser a lot. I like, you know, it's kind of like hacky, but it's a good song. But I love You're No Different. I mean, the synthesizer, I'm not crazy about in the song, even though it dominates it, but that's really an underrated Ozzy solo song. So I'm going with You're No Different.
Wow. Okay. Mark Striegel. What say you?
Yeah, I Secret Loser to me, it just the hook in that, the bounce that the song had, I just have such fond memories of listening to that on vinyl with my friends. It was you know, the thing with Ultimate Sin is, you know, Ozzy did acknowledge that, you know, it wasn't his favorite album, but he also always said that he thought it was a fan favorite, that the release. And to me, it was him taking a slight step more into the 80s metal sound, the hair metal world. And it really, I thought, worked quite well. I mean, that song, the hook, the chorus in that, it's right up there with something like by Rat off of Out of the Cellar or something. I think it's that good, and that, to me, that's the genre of music where they go with a lot of the tracks on The Ultimate Sin.
Yeah. So you're going with Secret Loser there, Mark?
Yes.
All right, there you go. Emily.
You know what? I think I'm going to have to go with Secret Loser as well. As a young person who loves music that is like way older than her, I totally relate to the lyrics, you know, feeling that kind of insecurity, you know, feeling kind of alone. So I am doubling down on Bark at the Moon here, you guys.
All right. Fighting a losing battle, pretending to win, repenting to wholly unknown, pretending to sin. Oh, come on. That middle part of Secret Loser alone kicks You're No Difference poppy ass. So I am going Secret Loser on that one. All right, Emily, you are up. Now You See It, Now You Don't versus Never Know Why.
You know what, Don? I am exposing my inadequacies, I suppose, when it comes to my rock and roll knowledge on this one. I'm going to go with the one on Bark at the Moon. Some of the titles of the songs, I would need to hear a little bit, and I would go, oh, yeah, that's it. So I think I'm going to have to let the other guys take the lead on this one. They have more knowledge than I do.
Well, based on your overall love of the album, you're going to go for track 3, Now You See It, Now You Don't. And okay, so we'll lock you in for that one. And Mark Striegel.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm going to say Never Know Why off of the Ultimate Sin. I do like Now You See It, Now You Don't. I think it's a decent song. I don't think it's. I mean, there's certain songs like You're No Different and Slow Down off of Bark the Moon, which I think are not good songs. They're not up to the standard, the Ozzy standard. But those two are two great songs. But yeah, Never Know Why.
All right. Jim.
This is a tough one because Now You See It, Now You Don't is probably that and like Slow Down or not great songs off of Bark to the Moon and the two that I wasn't crazy about, but Never Know Why, We Rock, We Rock, We Rock. It's kind of,
Yeah.
But I know what he was trying to do. I saw just he was on some show with a tube channel or something over in England, and he was really trying to. It was when the Ultimate Sin came out, and he played that song. He was really trying to get it going, like it was going to be a hit.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't. I'm going to go with Never Know Why on this one, but maybe by a hair. I don't like either. I'm not crazy about either song.
Okay.
Like they're just okay, both songs, but I'll give the notch to Never Know Why.
Yeah, I agree. They're both just okay songs. I'm actually going for Now You See It, Now You Don't, because that was also Bob Daisley writing lyrics about Sharon, which I guess they never picked up on. And their battles are very publicly known. But I guess he was able to get his little shots in there at Sharon on that song. But I just like the song better overall anyway. Then we get to Jim, Rock and Roll Rebel versus Thank God for the Bomb. This is a tough one.
I love Thank God for the Bomb.
Yeah.
And Rock and Roll Rebel's a classic to me. It's a great Ozzy song, which I'm surprised he didn't play it more live.
Yeah.
Because it's such a great song. That could have easily been in his set list the rest of his career when he was doing his solo stuff, which I never knew why it wasn't. I'm going to go Rock and Roll Rebel.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Very
right,
close. Both great songs. That's one of my favorites on Ultimate Sin is Thank God for the Bomb.
Yeah. Okay. Mark?
Yeah, Rock and Roll Rebel. I mean, just such a epic closer to side one of Bark the Moon. I just one of my favorite Ozzy tunes. That's a song that just had me constantly lifting that needle up and placing it right down in the fourth song, side one position, and listening to it over and over again. Such great lyrics. I love like I think some of those lyrics. He's denying that he's a devil worshiper, but he's just a rock rebel. Great song.
Yeah. Emily, for you?
Rock and Roll Rebel on this one too. That was really, really well said. There's just something about it that you can, you just relate to it. You feel when you listen to the lyrics, you feel like a rock and roll rebel as well. So Bark at the Moon, man, I am, like I said, really all in for this album, guys.
Well, good. And Jim makes a good point. I always thought when the record came out that would easily be in the set list, for years to come. But yeah, it just never happened. Let's go to the next one. Let's start with Mark Striegel on this one. And we'll do Center of Eternity versus Never. Now while you're thinking of it, let me just pause just to say, I'm just lining up the songs in the order now. We're already off to side 2 of Bark at the Moon versus the last song on the Ultimate Sin. I'm going to throw in the extra song Spiders at the end. That was the bonus track for Bark at the Moon. So it evens out at 9 apiece. It doesn't really matter where you put it. it still will, the math will still work out the same. So and this is a much better, not throwdown. I don't want to say throwdown in case an old producer is listening. It's not a throwdown. It's definitely not a throwdown. This is more of a toss up. Center of Eternity versus Never, which is the better song, Mark?
I'm going to say Never. Center of Eternity is a song that I remember really digging when I was a teenager. And recently going back and listening to it, it just, I don't know, it just hasn't held the test of time for me. It was the song where they used to do the drum solo during that tour. And I don't think it ever was in the set list after that Bark at the Moon tour. But yeah, for me, it's Never.
Okay. Emily, what do you think?
You know what? This is another one of those that I'm like, oh, I got to listen to it a little bit, but I'm gonna have to go with the other album at this point, Ultimate Sin. I'm gonna have to agree that Never. As I'm looking here on my laptop at the lyrics, I'm like, oh, I do know this one. So perfect. Let's go with Never. Well, put me down for going against the grain on this.
Yeah, the lyrics on that song are tremendous. Jim?
To me, Never is the weakest song on both records.
Wow.
I love Center of Eternity. Heavy. I still like it. Yeah, maybe it sounds a little dated, but it's still great, and it's a great opening track on side 2 of Bark of the Moon. So Center of Eternity by far.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, Mark, I agree with you that it hasn't held up very well. It didn't stay in the set list past that tour, but the lyrics for Never are some of the best lyrics Bob Daisley has ever written for Ozzy. And that song is so friggin' heavy. It's not even close. For me, I'm going Never. This one's probably a lot easier. So Tired versus Lightning Strikes. Jim, you want to start us off?
I always like an Ozzy ballad, and I like So Tired.
Yep.
I love his ballads, but I got to go with Lightning Strikes. It's a good song and solid. Lyrics aren't great, but it was
singles,
a semi.
actually.
Yeah, it was one of the semi-hit for Ozzy, but I'll go with Lightning Strikes.
Okay, Mark?
Yeah, So Tired's interesting because as a kid, I couldn't deal with that song. It was one I always just skipped. But when I hear it now, especially since he's died, the lyrics really did hit me pretty hard the other day when I listened to that. It's a song that I know Ozzy was, when it was released, he was quite proud of. They even did a music video for it. He wanted it to be like a Beatles song, and it's better than I remember. However, Lightning Strikes for me is the better of the two songs.
Okay, Striegel for Lightning Strikes. Emily, what are you going with? You going for the ballad or are you going for the rocker?
I was so tired on this one. A song about a broken heart, a song about love from Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, that's definitely up there for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with Jim. I always like a good Ozzy ballad. And Lightning Strikes it's such a hacky song. It's total filler, so this is a tough one for me because, I see Mark's point of view too. Like when you listen to the lyrics now, and I don't know, it still holds up. Oh boy. In my mind, I was thinking Lightning Strikes. I think I'm switching over. I think I'm gonna go So Tired on this one. Surprising myself here with that pick. Going with the ballad. So next up, Slow Down versus Killer of Giants. Mark, you want to start us off on this one?
Yeah, I don't think there's any comparison here.
No.
I mean, Slow Down, one of my least favorite songs on Bark at the Moon. Killer of Giants, Jakey Lee's guitar playing alone on that with just the haunting, coarse, echoey, mellow guitar that he does, and it just ramps up into this just ferocious beast of a song as far as his guitar playing goes, and Ozzy's haunting vocal. One of my favorite tunes from the 80s by Ozzy Osbourne is Killer of Giants. So going with that one.
All right. Jim?
Yeah, Killer of Giants, definitely. Slow Down is a kind of hacky song. The chorus is kind of catchy, but yeah, it is kind of it's okay. Killer Giants is great, and I remember him doing it on the when Gus G was in the band. He did it on that tour,
Yeah.
Killer Giants, which was awesome to
Yeah.
see live. So yeah, definitely Killer Giants. Great song.
All right, Emily.
Person, Killer of Giants for me. Mentions of War, absolutely. That's a great one.
Yeah, it was a very overtly war song, and, Lemmy would write lyrics like that all the time, but for Ozzy, that was sort of a departure. It was like, that was this a real heavy song about war. But really, when you break down to thinking about it, you think about Jake's guitar when you hear the title Killer of Giants. When you hear the title Slow Down, you think of that do 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 do, that keyboard progression. That's just way too poppy and corny. So I am going Killer of Giants on that one. Wait, okay, I gotta get Emily. I'm keeping track on everything here. And of course I said Killer. All right. Last two. Waiting for Darkness versus Fool Like You. Jim Florentine.
Full Like You is a good, catchy song. It's not bad, but Waiting for Darkness is phenomenal. Great way to close out the Bark of the Moon record.
Okay.
Not even close.
Yep. Striegel.
Yeah, I love both these songs. I mean, Fool Like You, to me, again, it's got that hair metal vibe. It's very catchy, those screeching harmonics that Jake does at the beginning. But without question, Waiting for Darkness. I think this is such an underrated song. And it's just, you know, I know we're going to do another song, Spiders, the B-side, but the original version of Bark of the Moon, this was the song that just closed it. And what an epic closer. Just an incredible tune. One of my favorites ever by Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, great. Okay, Emily.
I'm going with Waiting for Darkness as well on this one. Put me down for Bark at the Moon. I am very much in favor of that album, it looks like.
Yeah, your scores cannot be disputed, but we could see there's shifts here because this last one, I know it seems unfair, but I mean you still got to compare one song to another, and you go with the bonus track of Spiders, which is not a bad tune, versus Shot in the Dark. I mean, this is like me boxing Mike Tyson in his prime. Okay, so real quick, let's do this. Spiders versus Shot in the Dark. Emily.
I mean, come on, Shot in the dark for sure. Sorry, Don, but I'm going with the Mike Tyson in this matchup. It's such a great song. I've been a huge fan ever since I was a little kid of this one in particular. So yeah, Ultimate Sin wins on that one.
Me?
Yeah. Who, me?
Okay. Yeah, I got to go Shot in the Dark. Spiders is okay. It's not a bad song.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably better that it wasn't on the record. A One Up the B-side was another bonus off of that. I thought was a better song than Spiders.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to go Shot in the Dark. It's classic.
Yeah. Mark?
Yeah, without question, Shot in the Dark. Again, that was Phil Soussan. I think that was his one co-write on that album with Ozzy. And just, again, a song that took the Prince of Darkness and just firmly placed him in the hair metal world. It was a perfect song for the Sunset Strip vibe days and well crafted. I mean, essentially a pop song, but a good pop song at that. I love that tune.
Yeah, and the video for it with Ozzy wearing that sparkly outfit and he's got the frosted hair. I mean, it was just, you're right, it was just firmly into the Sunset Strip at that point. So let's go through all the scores now here.
You know, it would have been an interesting thing if it would have been Waiting for Darkness versus Shot in the Dark.
Yeah.
The two songs that close out the record.
Would anybody change their pick?
I give it a tie because Shot in the Dark's a great classic song and it's super catchy and it was a huge hit for him, but I'd give it a tie. I don't know if I could pick one on that.
Yeah, I would still stay with my pick. So And so let's go through. And so the one that's obvious, the one who has stuck with the album she picked at the top was Emily, Bark at the Moon. One, two, three. Oh, wait a minute. Four. What did I forget? Oh no, Waiting for Dark. So you picked five from Bark at the Moon, only four from Ultimate Sin. So it just barely, you barely squeaked by. It was closer than you thought.
I was gonna say, I thought that was some serious loyalty to the Bark at the Moon album, but man, Ozzy, he's got a lot of talent and a lot of different albums.
See, this is why you do it this way, because then you go, yeah, it wasn't so obvious in my mind. Let's go to Mark Striegel, who picked the Ultimate Sin, and he had one, two, three, four, five, six tracks off the Ultimate Sin as the better songs. So that's a landslide right there, pretty much. 6 out of the 10 better on Ultimate Sin. So your pick holds up. Jim Florentine, this is going to be close, my friend. For Bark at the Moon, the album you picked at the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Ultimate Sin.
10 songs? I thought we did 9 songs.
1, 2. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 5 for Bark at the Moon. One. Oh, you're not okay. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 for the Ultimate Sin. Okay, so your pick holds up as well for Bark at the Moon. And then Don Jamieson's pick of the Ultimate Sin definitely holds up 5-4. So a lot closer than you really think it is. And, I did this once with Loudwire magazine, Priest versus Maiden. And in my mind, I'm like, Priest by a mile. And then we went album by album. And it was so much closer than I thought it was. Like, for me, Priest maybe had 2 more better albums in their catalog. Like, it was really, really close. So, but everybody stuck to their guns and everything. We showed our work, and everybody's picks held together. And all hail Ozzy, and of course Jakey Lee. Hopefully he'll make some new music in the future. Hopefully he stays alive long enough to make some more music. It's unbelievable what happened to him recently, getting shot walking his dogs in Vegas. I mean, this guy he's got 9 lives. It's really incredible. But hopefully some new music from Jake. Emily, where can people check you out, whether you're newscasting, podcasting, whatever?
Absolutely. If you follow me on all social media at Emily Rose Finn, you can see the work that I do. I'm on Real America's Voice every morning from 8 to 10 a.m. hosting American Sunrise. It's our morning show. We offer a lot of alternative viewpoints on the news of the day. So I hope you guys all tune in. And once in a while, I convince my producers to let me talk about rock and roll and a little bit of metal. So you might be surprised.
She always gets to sneak one in. Mark Striegel.
Yeah, just the Sirius XM platform. The weekday morning show I do is on Turbo Channel 41. That's hard rock from the 90s and zeros. There's a little bit of Ozzy there, but mostly groups like Korn, Rage Against the Machine, Tool, and then Ozzy's Boneyard weekdays starting at 12 noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And then weekend mornings, Hair Nation, Channel 39.
There you go. And say hello to your Emily for me.
Absolutely. Yes,
thank you for joining us today. And Jim, what about you?
Yeah, Ozzy's Boneyard on Sirius every Thursday from 5 to 7.
And then Jim and I will be in Cleveland, Ohio at Winchester Music Tavern on September the 12th. And we'll be in Columbus, Ohio the next night, the 13th of September at, what's the name of the joint?
I don't know.
All right. So
Some
follow us on our social media.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out by the time September comes. Follow everybody on their socials. Follow Mark. It's at Striegel, just straight up at Striegel. I know on X where I follow Mark, and he's very engaged with his fans there. So check him out there. And thank you guys a lot for your time. Appreciate it today. Long live Ozzy. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Don. Thank you for watching that clip. Here's some more I think you're going to enjoy. And of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.